Hey everyone, it's Steve from the garden. Well, my outdoor growing season's in and end, so it's time for me to start my indoor growing season. And today we're going to be starting some carrot seeds, and then we'll follow them through for the first 3 or 4 weeks to see how they progress in the growth. So let's get started. You can start growing carrots indoors. What I have here is a 17-gallon tote. And I'm going to add to this the grow mix I made for my 10-gallon root pouches, and I'm going to put it in here. Now the root pouches, the soil in there right now, because it's been in the garage, is a little bit dry, so I'm going to have to moisten it and mix it up a little bit. And I'll also add some balanced organic fertilizer to it in a couple different layers. This material is fairly loose and it worked really well for the potatoes, so I think it should work pretty well for the carrots too. Throw in some fertilizer. Add some water to that. Note that there's no holes in the bottom of the tote. I'm just going to use this little digging fork here, kind of mix this up. And it looks like I'm going to have to add some more water because this stuff is pretty dry. I had to add about a gallon of water to that to get it well saturated. And now I'm going to put some more of the mix in. With the mix in, I'm going to just repeat the same process, adding some fertilizer and water to get this ready. Now that the bin is full, I'm going to grow the same variety of carrots indoors that I am growing outdoors. So that's Scarlet Nantes and Golden Nugget carrot. Planting these, I'm just going to kind of scatter them. I'm not going to try doing any little rows or anything like that. That's because being indoors, I have a limited amount of space here. So our first variety was the Scarlet Nantes, and these are the Golden Nugget carrots. These ones are pelleted, so it's a little easier to not only see them, but kind of lay them out. The seeds laid down, I'm just going to kind of rough up the surface and kind of get them buried up a little bit. Now some of them may not get down too far and some may get down a little too far, but they should be pretty good. I'm not roughing them up that much where they'll get buried too deeply, I don't think. Tap them down so that they get good contact with the soil in here. All the way. To help hold all the moisture in, I'm just going to put the toad's lid back on. And I'll leave that on there for like the next 7 days. It's been 8 days since I started the seeds, and we can now start to see some of them starting to sprout right there. So that's pretty good for carrots. Carrots can be very slow to germinate. But here on the indoor bin, the temperature is very consistent. It's right about 62 degrees. So germination is not a problem. It's 3 weeks since I started the carrot seeds, and you can see that they're now starting to get some size on them. Now the ones right here along the side, they're in like a row. These are ones I actually moved from another spot where they're getting too crowded, and just to see if they will make it through that little transplant process. And it seems like as long as the seedlings are fairly small, you can still move them around. The carrots are now at 1 month since I started the seeds, and they seem to be doing pretty well. Now I did go through and thin these out so that the spacing on them is much better than what it was when I just threw the seeds in there. And it'll still be, a couple months at least before these carrots are ready for any kind of a harvest. But so far it looks very promising.